Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching our PQ on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Hi Navneet, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today it seems is a day for records, Navneet. And I think it's a perfect day for all of you to ask questions of the experts that we have on this show. You can send those queries to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. You can also call us on 022-4540-4141, or you can mail us on askpq@bloombergquint.com. Only make sure to add the AskPQ hashtag.
Yep, some cheer for equity market investors. Before we get to the individual queries, let's quickly tell you what's happening with the market. Sensex touched its fresh highs in today's trading session, surpassing the previous highs that were seen on 4th of June this calendar year of 40,312. And currently, of course, it's cooled off from the higher levels that we had seen, but it's still sitting with gains of about 0.5%. And the good news is that the gains today that you're seeing, or rather in the last 4 to 5 sessions, they've been broad-based. So you've also got the broader market indices which are participating in this rally of last 3 to 4 days. The breadth is pretty much in favor of the advances today, and we've seen the mid cap as well as the small cap indices surging higher, both of them sitting with gains of nearly 1% in trade. Remember, today also marks the expiry of monthly derivative contracts. Hence, you'll be wondering what the levels you should watch out for. I was just looking at the options data. The base for this market has moved higher. Remember the gains that we've seen in just last 3 to 4 trading session. Nifty is up about 3% now for this series, and the 3% gains have just come in last 4 sessions. Almost 29 lakh shares have been added when it comes to the 11,900 put, and go by the premium about 20 rupees, telling you the writers of the strike, even at current level, now feel that the expiry could happen above the mark of 11,880 or 870. So that's the support that we're getting. Watch out for 11,850 on the downside, to about 11,950 now on the upside. Very quickly then pull up the Nifty contributors list and tell you which are the stocks which are contributing to the gains. And these are all your heavyweights. So Infosys contributing nearly 30 points. SBI, HDFC and Kotak Mahindra Bank are the other ones. What's capping the moves are heavyweights like Reliance Industries as well as ITC, which are witnessing subdued trading session today. Earnings reaction for a couple of stocks in the broader markets. Tata Global Beverages, a good performance from the domestic business. However, the international business was tepid, but the stock's trading at its fresh 52-week high, up 6%. Quest Corp also up about 11%, good operating performance, and JK Tyre is up about 10% in trade. Whereas a pocket which is not doing too well are the paper companies today. So you've got the likes of International Paper, Balkrishna Paper, and also West Coast Paper, which have seen cuts of about 1 to 10%.
All right, well, that's how the markets look as of now. Let's get our 2 experts in for the day. We've got Vikas Jain of Reliance Securities and Sandeep Jain of Tradeswift Broking, who are here to answer all of your queries today. I do want to take the first question, and it's a bit of a broad question to you. All right, so I'll wait for Sandeep to come in. But Vikas, from what you're seeing in trade today, are you seeing any pockets of opportunity, any stocks that you would pick for the short term?
If you look at the structure continues to remain positive, and we have been maintaining a positive bias. Nifty is yet to scale a new high. It's still 2 to 30 points away from its all-time high, whereas Sensex is traded today. ITC is throwing a good amount of opportunity, trading near today's low, because the stock moved up from those 247 to 264 odd levels, and now seeing some amount of cooling off in today's trade. So ITC looks pretty promising. We believe ITC can sail back to near to those 270, 275 levels, as the stock has also incidentally crossed its short-term averages. Whereas Sun Pharma from the pharma space looks pretty attractive. The risk-reward ratio continues to look favorable in these 2 stocks.
Okay. Those are some technical views coming in from Vikas. So let's start with a technical query. Hari Kiran on YouTube writes to us, and Hari has a query on Torrent Power. He's holding 200 shares at 280, and I guess the price is also just about the same right now. Vikas, he wants to know if he stays put with this position, what should be the stop loss? Or overall, looking at the charts, would you advise him to exit from this position?
Well, it should continue to stay put, because if you look at the stock has been just trending in a particular range between those 273, 274 on the downside and 285 on the upside. The stock would give a verge on breakout if it crosses those 285, 287 levels with strong volumes. We can continue to hold on at the current levels because the structure looks positive. You can keep a stop of around 267, which is it with short-term 50-day average. And on the higher side, 305 to 310 should easily be achievable.
Vikas, I believe that we do have Sandeep joining us. Thanks so much for joining in today, Sandeep. Just wanted to get a check with essentially the moves that we've seen over the last few sessions. There seems to be a little bit of optimism creeping in, and Navneet spoke about this when she spoke about the market check, and she said this seems to be a bit of a broad-based rally. Just trying to get a sense from you as to what you think is giving the bulls that bit of optimism, what you think has changed. I think we've more or less hit the midpoint in terms of earnings, and are you seeing signs of optimism there?
Certainly, see, the global cues are getting positive. The government has been very, very proactive, and the government has actually come up with good amount of market-friendly measures, and some of the new taxation related measures are being expected, like STT and DDT and long-term capital gain, something related to them will also come up. So I think the market is quite optimistic. Then the auto numbers will certainly be good. In fact, unlike the last 6-7 months, which were very bad, I think Dhanteras had seen a very, very good amount of auto sales in the economy. So I think all these companies have actually delivered good numbers. So I think November 1st will again be very optimistic. So I think things are getting better on the global cues front also, and the FIIs being big buyers, and I think everyone is getting really optimistic about the tax cut benefits. In fact, it might take time, say 1 to 2 years time, but then things will really get better in times to come. So I think one should be very positive. It's a very broad-based rally. In fact, as you said rightly, still, there are lots of small cap and mid cap names which are not actually participated in the markets. So I think, one should stay invested in quality names, mid caps and small caps, and any cap it can be, but it has to be a good quality stock, fundamentally strong stocks. Unnecessarily, he shouldn't chase the bad names which are not actually doing well, and debt-oriented companies should really be avoided. So I think it's a very good time to buy on declines in the markets.
Point well taken. And Alex, I was just mentioning the broad-based rally is what we've seen in the last 3 to 4 trading sessions. So with the frontline indices, even the broader markets are inching higher. But
that has been missing.
Let's not forget, I was just looking at the levels of Nifty Midcap 100 and the BSE 500 index. Of course, they touched their live highs in 2018, not this year. But last, when Sensex touched its live highs, which was on 4th of June, both Nifty Midcap as well as the BSE 500 index are trading below that 4th June level as well, which talks volumes about the underperformance of the broader markets. And now it remains to be seen, with FI participation coming back, momentum changing, or sentiment improving. Let's see if this time around the broader market companies, or rather the broader markets, can fully participate in this rally or not.
If I'm not mistaken, and I was just looking at this before the show started, around 20% is the gap from the high point to what it is right now, at least for the mid-cap index.
Yep, and that's also trading at a discount to Nifty. That's the Nifty Midcap Index. Nevertheless, we'll continue taking these queries. The next one is on TCS, and this one comes in from Ujjwal Kumar. He wants a technical view. He's holding the shares at levels of 2060. He wants to know what should be the stop loss and target here. And of course, he's pretty much deep in the money right now. Vikas, what would you advise him to do? His entry level is 2060. What should be the target and stop loss here?
Well, the stock has been gaining strong momentum over the last few days, as Nifty and Sensex both are being a heavyweight of the stock. I believe the stock might made a new high 52 of those, crossing those 222, 94, 95 odd levels. But ideally, he should book profits, because being such a large cap stock, the stock might scale a new 52 high and then again witness some amount of profit booking. So 2320, 2330 should be an ideal zone to book some profits on scaling a new high. And on the downside, he can keep a stop of around 2180 to 2190 from current levels.
All right, Sandeep, coming to you on this next one. Mayank is looking to have a sectoral play, and even within that, he wants to drill down. He wants to do or have a look at MNC pharma stocks, and he's mentioned a few. He's talking about Pfizer, he's talking about Glaxo, he's talking about Novartis. He's saying that these are performing pretty well in the recent past, and he's wondering whether to get into them with a perspective of 2 to 3 years. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, certainly. See, MNC pharma stocks certainly are outperforming the pharma index also, and outperforming the markets also. If you see Abbott, if you see Pfizer, if you see Sanofi, all these are actually outperforming the broader markets also, not only their respective indices. So I think, one should certainly look at Sanofi. I think that's a great bet, and certainly it will do well also. And the US FDA issues or regulatory issues certainly are not, disturbing the performances of these companies. So I think unlike the Indian pharma companies where the issues of regulators are actually disturbing the overall performance in the markets also and in the company also, I think these companies will certainly do well. But then one has to be cautious about the valuations also. They are already fully valued, but still, they can always accumulate at declines also. So buy on declines can be a good strategy to enter into these stocks.
Okay, Rangarajan Balkrishnan writes to us on Facebook and he wants a view on Graphite India. His entry level is 323. He wants to know what to do, hold, average or exit, and his time horizon is next 3 months. Remember, the stock yesterday was down because of the numbers which came in for September quarter. Profits were down nearly 83% and the company has been facing competition from Chinese exports. But Vikas, on the charts, if somebody is willing to hold on to this position for the next 3 months, the entry price is 323. What would you advise to do?
Well, if he wants to hold, he should look at selling on rallies because the structure continues to remain weak, even on the medium-term side and on the long-term side. No doubt some bounce cannot be ruled out because we have witnessed a sharp fall. So he should sell and exit in on rallies near to those 300 and 305 level, but provided he should not average even at this level.
All right, significant cuts then in that stock. But on the flip side, you have Tata Global Beverages, which has made a fresh 52-week high today of 312, just off that mark right now in trade, about 6.5% higher. Sandeep, the question is from Shalom Ranga, and really it's a question about how you see the FMCG play panning out. He's bought at levels of 265, so he's made a little money already, but he's wondering for the next 10 years or so, is this a stock that can perform as well as something like an HUL or an ITC or a Britannia?
I think, he should go with some other names, because when it comes to beverages, somehow tea, coffee, all these are some cyclical commodities, and somehow things are not doing all that great with these kind of commodities. Though it's a great company, great pedigree, everything is too good, and in fact he has made money also, but it is not a story which you can buy and forget. But then I think HUL, Nestle, Marico, Dabur, and then all these names somehow are really doing well. Gillette, in fact I've been recommending this name, Procter & Gamble. So, and then Marico has actually corrected also because of not very great results. So I think these are the stocks one can really look at. And then ITC, somehow I feel that it is a big underperformer in the FMCG space, and somehow it has not done well also in terms of the valuation front also. So I think there will be some valuation catch up also there. So one can really look at ITC and he can buy and forget.
I think that answers Paritush's question as well, because he's bought at levels of 253 ITC and he's looking for a long-term view. Sandeep says that you can expect some valuation correction there.
That's right. And the next query is on a stock which has been buzzing since yesterday, and that's SBI. Harsh Jatani writes to us. He's bought at levels of 270. He wants to know if he should look to book profit as the stock's up about 5%. Remember, it's a heavy weight, so it's contributing to the gains that you're seeing on both Nifty, Bank Nifty. Vikas, would you suggest booking profits? If somebody had entered around the levels of 270, booking at least partial profits at current levels?
Yeah, he should book some partial profits, at least 50% profits. But if you look at the stock as at the major resistance level of those 305 to 307 area, and as the stock has seen a steady move from the 265 to 270 levels from its monthly support area, believe the stock should see some amount of consolidation and profit booking. You should book at least 50% profits and trail the stop loss for the 50% to 289 odd from levels.
Okay, pull up Torrent Power. We've got a question on YouTube. Have we done that already?
We've done.
All right, let's take a fundamental view on a recent listing. I think we've gotten this question a few times, but I'll still take it to you, Sandeep. We've got a question on Garden Reach Shipbuilders. How do you rate the fundamentals, and would you invest fresh into this counter for the long term?
See, somehow there is a good value in the stock, but then generally I have not been recommending this stock because somehow I feel that there are some other good names, and somehow I am more bullish on CPSE ETF. Somehow I feel that that's a broader exchange traded fund where really one can look at and one can play the PSU sector. And in fact, be it Bharat 22 or CPSE ETF, all these have very good components. And if you see the fundamentals and the technicals of all the constituents, say 12 constituents of CPSE ETF, they are really trading at very good levels, attractive levels, and fundamentally also and technically also. So I feel that CPSE ETF might give a good jump in the coming days, because somehow it has just come at the levels 2480 at which it has allotted the shares in the recent tranche of their disinvestment. So I think this should be a good play to go with the PSUs. And I think Garden Ridge, somehow those who are holding it, they can continue hold. It's a good company. There is a good value in it.
Okay, Parthi Krish writes to us, and remember Sandeep's already spoken about how he likes Marico in the FMCG space, but his query is more related to fund can look to accumulate now at current levels stocks like Marico and Godrej Consumer purely on a basis of the valuation. And Sandeep, of course, Marico is corrected because of the disappointing numbers. The volume growth was below what the street was expecting, and the investment thesis that one had to invest in Marico was its valuation compared to its peers. But I think now both Marico and GCPL have been trading at 40 to 42 times, so it's not very cheap also when you compare it to the peers. But still, within the FMCG pack, would you suggest somebody at current levels now to start accumulating both these stocks?
Yes, certainly. In fact, both the stocks really look good, and in fact, Marico, after the correction, somehow the results were not as bad as the reaction the market has given. And I think after this correction, it has been at good levels, so where one can really have a good risk reward ratio also. So I think Marico is a buy from my side, and things will get better if you listen to the management commentary also. So I think things will get better in the times to come. Certainly there was not a great positive in the rural demand side, but then I think things will get better in the coming future. And Marico or Godrej Consumer or Dabur, all these are very good place to play with this thing.
Preetham Kale has got a view on Z Media. Unfortunately, Preetham, it's a counter that's trading at 5 rupees, and I do not think that our expert is going to have a view on it. But Vikas, I'll come to you on Biocon. Muhammad Ali is bought he's asking whether it will touch 260 in coming weeks. It's not too far away from that mark. And he's asking what your opinion is. So I would think, what are the levels that you're watching on the charts in the near term for Biocon?
Well, the stock is in an uptrend. It has also seen a good amount of correction from these highs of 265 levels, retracing the entire move from those 220 to 265, and again taking good amount of support area. So we believe the stock would see 260 to 65 levels in the immediate next 2 weeks. And on the higher side, crossover of its 200-day average of those 271, 272 will lead the stock to another high near to those 290, 295 levels.
Okay, that's Biocon for you. Vikas, I'm going to come back to you on Trent, a stock which has been an outperformer so far this year. It's up about 50%. One of our viewer, he wants a 1-month view from the current levels of 540. How are the charts looking for this one?
Stock is trading at all-time high almost for the last 3-4 years if you look at, and the stock has seen a sustained amount of up move, but the volumes are not being so great. Despite such a sharp move, we have seen not so immediate strong amount of volumes. So I think he should, if the view is of only 1 month, he should avoid, because if any negative news flow, again the stock would react pretty negatively. So one should avoid the stock at current levels and wait for some decline to enter near to 485, 500 odd.
Sandeep, any view on Himmat Singh seed? It's down about 25 odd % for the year so far. We've got Lakshmi who's asking for a view.
I see somehow Himmat Singh seed is in silk, and I think lots of these silk stocks and these textile stocks are not doing well. And very frankly, I don't track the stock that keenly, but I just know about the company. So I'll not be the best person to comment on or give a view on Himmat Singh seed.
All right, so let me try and get Vikas to give you a technical view. Anything that you're reading from the charts that can be useful, Vikas?
In terms of Himmat Singh seed, we do not track so closely, so may not able to provide any view on the stock.
Fair enough. All right, let's quickly talk about another counter that has lost significant value. Preetham, I believe, is trying to look at buying stocks that have seen significant deterioration. One of them is Yes Bank, of course. He has bought at levels of 42.50. It's now trading at 57, as he points out. Should he sell at this point? Vikas, what do you say on the charts?
The stock has made its bottom near to those 30-35 forward levels, made multiple attempts to cross those levels. So we believe once if it resists it, it can continue to hold at the current levels, keep a stop of around 51-52, and on the higher side, it can exit near to those 62 to 63 levels.
Okay, it's that time of the show when we hit the rapid fire segment. Just before we begin, a small request to both our experts, Sandeep and Vikas. Please keep your answers short so that we can accommodate as many queries as possible. Vikas, this one's for you. Any intraday trade do you see in Muthoot Finance, which has been trading around its all-time high levels?
Stock has still an all-time high, but again witnessed a sharp correction from the today's trade. So we believe the stock should see some amount of profit booking. And on the downside, it can test 685 to 690 levels.
Okay, there's a question on Infosys. Sandeep, what level would you buy at this level? Basically, that's the question.
Yeah, certainly I'll be very confident. In fact, we were very confident at 650 levels also, 625 levels also when it corrected that day. So we recommended, selling puts of 600 rupees where, the premium was around 12 rupees. And then we have recommended staggered buying at 650 levels also. And I think at these levels also one can buy at staggered levels. And whenever it comes down, I think he shouldn't panic. He should stay put and hold the stock and buy instead.
Okay, let's move on and take a query on Yes Bank then, because okay, we've done with Yes Bank.
Yes.
Sandeep, okay, I'm going to come back to you. Any fundamental view in Westlife?
See, somehow I don't find these stocks too exciting. In fact, be it Westlife or be it Jubilant Foodworks. And Westlife somehow is an illiquid counter also. And let's see what happens. But somehow I'm not a very great recommender of this particular stock.
Akshay Mittal wants to know about Tata Steel. Vikas, coming to you, I think he bought at levels of 600. He's asking if we should exit.
We can continue to hold on because the metal space continues to look attractive. We have seen good amount of bounce in Tata Steel Limited, and we believe now on the higher side, the stock can easily touch 435 to 440 odd levels. So over there, you can look at some exit.
Sandeep, Venkata is holding Blue Dart at 3,000. What would you advise him to do?
I think he can continue holding the stock.
What about MMTC? Would you buy for the long term, Sandeep?
Not at all. Not at all. It's a big avoid here.
Vikas, Edelweiss bought at 77.5. What are the technicals suggesting?
The stock has witnessed good amount of bounce from the lower levels, and on the higher side, multiple resistances are placed into those 95-97 band. So if somebody is holding, he should book profits and wait for some decline to enter near 75-76.
All right. Well, on that note, let me thank both our guests. Thank you so much, Vikas and Sandeep, for helping all our viewers with the queries that you did answer. We missed a few, but we promise to do as much as we can tomorrow.
Yes, and remember, we're just a tweet, post, or a call away. So please keep your queries coming, and we promise to address most of them through our shows. For all our previous episodes, you can visit our YouTube channel or our website, BloombergQuint.com. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.